This is the third principle of history and economics against the Chinese Marxist model. And the third principle is the efficiency of free markets and the responsiveness of democracies. Free markets are more responsive and efficient in the allocation of resources, as basically they go to where they will find the highest return, which in turn is where the citizen wants to have things or consume things or relax. That gets us bottled water, it gets us smartphones, it gets us these massive Stanley drinking cups. Now in a democracy, if the bounds of acceptable conduct are exceeded, such as in pollution, the citizenry is able to push back through the democracy, through elections. Our air, water, and soil were being polluted at a higher rate in the 1970s, 1980s, and environmental legislation was passed in response to the concerns of the citizens to make our air, water, and soil cleaner. But to pollute less costs money, and that's a problem for the central planners in China, because they're unlikely to divert money from production to make a better environment, unless they're forced to do so. In a dictatorship, for the citizen to object to the conditions on the ground risks imprisonment, it risks loss of job, lower social scores, so the citizen is slow to object. Day after day, the citizens of China are exposed to poor air, water, and soil. Grit on the teeth, grime in the nose and throats, compromised health. The dictators of China have moved industry out of city centers to outside of cities. There was a story of the 2008 Beijing Olympics where they were shutting down production in the hope that a cloud of smog would not descend over Beijing, and they pulled it off. It used to be on your Apple iPhone, you could see unhealthy air quality in Beijing day after day. Now, I don't know if it's because they've improved the air quality or because they've muscled Apple to stop showing the poor air quality in major Chinese cities. But through the policy of moving industry outside of city centers and moving their power plants outside of cities or away from city centers, they're still pumping out more CO2, but they're not doing it in city centers. At the beginning of 2024, China was by far the biggest importer of oil and coal of all nations, and they represented 30.7% of all CO2 emissions worldwide. In fact, in July 2023, China had 1,142 coal-fired power plants. In comparison, India had 282, the US had 210, 170 of those were slated for removal